From the capital of Jackson, Mississippi, through the rural towns of the Mississippi Delta, all the way down to the small southern city of Wiggins, Mike drove over 1,000 miles in 3 days to explore why Mississippi has fallen behind in the digital age, why so many of its residents lack access to fast-wired broadband at home.
It's been days, weeks, that I wasn't able to do anything. So I got behind on bills and I was stressing, how am I gonna pay this, how am I gonna do that?
But some people are going to great lengths and distances to connect more Mississippians to high-speed internet.
When I get the question, why should I pay more for faster internet? Why would I want faster internet? And then I respond, well, that's like asking, right, 100 years ago, why do I want electricity when I already use candles?
But change is happening, especially as younger, hungrier generations explore technological opportunities like coding.
How do you not know how to code?
I don't know.
How'd you get this job then?
That's a good question.
I don't know how many miles it is. I mean, it can be a 30-minute drive one day and it can be a 3-hour drive the next day.
Roberto Gallardo knows these roads well. He moved here from Mexico in 2003 to obtain his master's degree. Now he drives across the state, helping rural communities access new technologies and make the most of the internet. Mississippi ranks dead last when it comes to fixed, high-speed household internet access. A third of residents don't have fast-wired broadband. Those who have it tend to be in urban areas. So it's especially bleak for the rural communities of the Mississippi Delta. The Delta stretches across the flatlands of northwest Mississippi between the Mississippi and Yazoo rivers. It's the birthplace of the blues, where inequality and misery spread through cotton fields worked by the enslaved. Poverty now plagues the region, and Mississippi is the poorest state in the nation.
Why are you traveling the roads every 2 to 3 times a week to push this issue? Why is it important?
Because I believe that the technology, it's not a silver bullet, obviously, but it can help level the playing field, not only between urban and rural, but among different socioeconomic and demographic groups.
Roberto says there are at least 70 fixed broadband providers in Mississippi, but rural communities still don't have reliable internet. It's either too expensive or simply not available. So libraries in rural towns have become economic lifelines, the only places where people like Penny and Kevin Smith can get online. Penny works in marketing, and Kevin is currently looking for work.
How often are you here, and why do you come to the library? What services do you get when you're here?
Before our internet got disconnected, we never came to the library, but then I work from home, so we started coming every day so I can catch up on my work, because that's our only source of income, because the economy down here ain't so good.
Is it a need or is it a want?
It's a need for us, because you have to do the applications online.
Yeah, especially with my type of work. It really don't put no time for my life, actually. See, if I was at home, I can do it, anytime I want. I won't have to be rushed and have to do this, have to do that, so.
And there's always money to be made 24/7.
High-speed internet doesn't just make or break someone's ability to find work. It's an essential tool in improving education, communication, and healthcare. And yet some of the towns Roberto consults with are reluctant to make this issue a priority. Leaders are worried about cost or more pressing issues like crime or unemployment. But that only drives Roberto, because he sees the broadband shortfall as the greatest threat to economic growth.
You talked about this work requiring a lot of patience.
Mm-hmm.
What type of hardships, trials have you faced in doing this work over the past several years?
Yeah.
What are the costs?
Community development is a process that moves very slowly, very slowly. You cannot expect change overnight. You cannot reverse decades. You cannot change a mindset overnight. So you've got to be patient and not be discouraged.
The next stop for Roberto is the city of Oxford in northern Mississippi. Even though it's a college town, some residents still struggle to get online. So Roberto is moderating a town hall meeting for people fed up with high prices and limited bandwidth.
Friday, I took orders from all my restaurants, and I had, like I said, 135 restaurants. I should have been done by 1 o'clock. I don't get done till 7 at night because it takes that long for responses to come through the line for me to finally get what their order is. And that's just crazy.
Our first step is to get the county government to talk, at least get them to the table. The model has worked in other communities, if you guys mobilize your elected officials, at least you can get the conversation started, because it is clear to you, and like any other rural community, the carrier just won't do it.
Extending broadband to rural communities is expensive for carriers because of the high costs associated with thinly populated areas. But some analysts say too many of those places are low-income neighborhoods. A new report by the Center for Public Integrity found that families in poor neighborhoods are almost 5 times more likely to not have access to high-speed internet compared to affluent households in the U.S.
Mississippi has the highest population of African Americans in the country. It also has the highest population of individuals who don't have access to internet. Talk about the connections between the two.
It's an equity issue. People that can't afford it, they may just suffice with what they can afford, and that may mean slower internet speeds, outdated technology. So that loops back into the carriers perhaps not seeing an ROI advantage of investing. And so then that feeds back again. And so you get into this downward spiral thing.
But Roberto is hopeful, especially when it comes to equipping the next generation. A reported 5 million households with school-aged children don't have high-speed internet at home. And that can put low-income students at a serious disadvantage. So Roberto works with local field agents in schools to make sure technology plays a role in Mississippi classrooms, like this one in the city of Wiggins. Students here are learning to code using toy robots.
I like to be creative with coding and how it works and how you can use it for stuff. I just like it all.
11-year-old Philip Walker enjoys his school's robotics program. He's improving his computer programming skills and now dreams big about his future in technology.
What do you think about having access to that type of stuff?
I think it's kind of cool.
Why?
Because when you grow up, half of the jobs in the USA involves coding. So if you don't know how to code, you're not going to be able to work there. And, I like to code, so...
Can you teach me? Because I don't know how to do any. I don't know how to code. See, so I come from a generation where coding wasn't about, no one taught me how to code. It wasn't available to me. But now I feel like I need to go back and learn today.
You really do.
I do, right? Because I'm behind.
I may not know how to code just yet, but Philip inspires me. The key to improving the digital divide in rural communities may very well rest on the younger generation. The young students and professionals who refuse to miss out on the digital revolution.